Hey guys, Jason Lawrence, J-Law Fitness. In today's video, I want to talk about the anterior delt. So, when we're talking anterior delt, we're kind of talking this area, kind of right through here. In this part right here, we're really talking about, a couple different motions. So it's kind of like the rear delt, where, when we were talking about that one, we had the extension, we had the rotation, the external rotation. Well, with anterior delt, we're talking about more of that shoulder flexion. That's one of the main actions of it, but we're also getting some like horizontal adduction, where you're kind of coming across the body. It helps contribute to that, and you also get a little bit of like internal or medial rotation. So some of these moves I'm going to show you today, we got to make sure we're addressing all those different motions all at the same time. Some of them are just kind of singling out more of just one motion. And I'll kind of break it down as we're going through those. So the first one we're going to do is going to be on the incline bench here. So now I kind of showed you this in the biceps video when we're doing the long head of the biceps, that we let our arms kind of dangle behind us, because that kind of puts a strain across that joint a little bit. So it's kind of the same thing here. We're getting that shoulder flexion. So I want to kind of start back here because we're really extended, and it's really making us work all the way through that shoulder flexion. And then with this one too, we're not only going to be bringing it up and working on that flexion motion, but we're also kind of going to bring these dumbbells across the body. So we're talking like kind of bringing it up and across, and you're also getting a little bit of rotation in there too. So we're kind of working all three motions here in this one exercise. So we're coming up and in together, and then control it back down, and up and in together, control it back down. Now I really think that the anterior delt is one of the easier ones to really be able to focus in on and key in on, as opposed to like the lateral or the posterior delt. Okay, the next one we're going to do is going to be just a single dumbbell raise to the front. So with this one, now with these, I like to interlock my fingers. So I'm kind of interlocked here like this, and I'm holding it here. Now when you bring this up, again, because your arms are close here, you're already kind of getting that horizontal adduction, where you're coming in together across the chest, and you're getting that flexion. So you're covering two of those main motions that the anterior delt does. But when you come up, you want to come up, and then I usually like to go down about 3/4 of the way and then come back up again. Now with this one, you're not looking to come way up overhead. We're talking about coming up to about 100 degrees maybe, and then back down. The next one, I'm going to grab the weight plate here. Now usually with this one, the most you usually want to do with this is I usually do the most of 45-pound weight plates. So because of the position that you're going to be in with this motion, you don't really need a lot of weight. This is 25 pounds, and this is probably more than enough for a lot of people. You might even have to start down lower than this, just because this is a really tough motion because of the position you're going to be in. So you're going to bring both arms up together. You're going to be kind of right out in front of you, and then you're going to try turning, and then bring it back, and then turn the other way, and bring it back, and then down. Now with this motion, because of that turn I'm getting in there, I'm getting more of that internal or medial rotation along with the flexion that we were looking for. So we're coming up, and then we're turning in, and then back, and then turn in, and then back and down. So that's really working that anterior delt with the combination of those different movements. And the last one we're going to talk about is going to be more for a powerful move. So again, these are light weights. You can go a lot heavier than that with this. But I want to caution you, when I'm giving you this exercise, I like to try to single things out to make things more inefficient. We always talk about efficiency. Well, efficiency usually with this overhead press is other body movements like the back, the legs, different body parts, really contributing to help get the weights overhead. But I like to focus more on inefficient movement and really try to focus on the anterior delts. So you bring these up to here, okay? And then when you're pushing, you're trying to really focus on just driving the weights up overhead and then come right back down to your shoulder. And then back up overhead and back down to the shoulder. Now when you're doing this motion, you really want to make sure that you're trying to squeeze right here in this anterior delt. So you don't want to go up like this. You don't want to go necessarily straight up. You're trying to come up and up overhead a little bit. So you're almost coming right back like that. So you're really getting that anterior delt working. Now some people want you to be way out here like this. So you're all the way out wide. I don't really like that position. I think that position puts a lot of strain on your rotator cuff muscles, and I don't really like that. I think it's much better and much safer to be in here when you're doing that press, and it works the anterior delt just as effective. So make sure that you're picking the right weights for all of these. You know, too much weight can put too much strain on your back. It can make it so you're not using the anterior delts, and you start really, you know, compensating and using your upper traps. So make sure you're maintaining that good form, using that mind-muscle connection, really recruiting the right muscle group, and you'll see the gains that you want, guys.